Wholesome and Wild, Folláin is Fiáin. Sacred Messages, Eolas, Naofa, a special podcast series with Kathleen Farren and Sandra Saradesi. Welcoming our guest, Pintipa Grongsaard. Welcome to Sacred Messages and our special guest, Pintipa Grongsaard. You're most welcome. Myself and Sandra are very excited now to find out what it is about the Fountain of Plenitude that you enjoyed. I know that Pintipa is a mother, and also has a background in business and science. It is with Almeen's spiritual work and teachings that I think Pintipa feels most at home. And it's through the Visionary Spirits group with Kira Young that Pintipa came across this. So I'm looking forward to it. And we just had a lovely meditation from Sandra just before this. So it reminds me of how lovely it was every morning to hear Sandra. Pintipa, does anything stand out straight away about this protocol for you?
I think the rose quartz kit is very nice. It's like a nice treatment for the skin. I think the body is probably feel joy when you use the tools with them.
That's beautiful. It requires a certain sense of connection with the heart to realize the sensitivity of the body. Wouldn't you say, Kathleen?
Yes, the sensitivity of the body has been under closed doors in my experience, even with all my best efforts. And perhaps the rose quartz, it's connected to the heart, but I know there's many levels to the Fountain of Plenitude. And it's an awakening inside that happens when you do it. It's kind of like, I didn't know it was in me to feel this way. And it's a personal experience because it's just you doing it. So yes, it's a relief to the heart. Yeah. And how would you see this, Pintipa, that like with all the lovely tools that we use and the nice things to listen to, how did you notice yourself enjoying it?
So I am especially connected to the rose quartz. That's a special element to me. So I did both phase 1 and phase 2, and in noticing what changed in me, it is subtle, but I feel it in my breath, my breathing as well, because I said it's subtle because I feel the lingering trauma used to be in there, but now it's all smooth. So it's like, I don't know how it happened, but it just seems to dissolve.
Mm-hmm. And this is, I'm just gonna jump in here a little bit because for some reason, you asked me to sort of prepare ourselves for this segment, for this episode, and I felt to do this about the breath and how Almeen explains that the trauma is held in the gap of each breath. And it is amazing how, going back to the sensitivity again, because you can have these subtle changes, but without the sensitivity and without the awareness, the gift passed by unnoticed. So it is a refined awareness that we must acquire. Not we must, it's a gift that we receive from the protocols. And in order to really have this understanding that I don't really know how it happened, but I know my breath is different. You know how profound that is? You know how much deeper you're living through the different type of breath that you're doing, because many, you probably heard many say shallow breathing is shallow living. And this is where it comes from. And there was not supposed to be an interruption of the breath. The interruption is a result of the trauma, of the traumas accumulated throughout ages and life cycles that we have lived. So it is time that we bring this to resolution. And what I hear Pintipa saying is that the miracles are so many, but she can feel, but she doesn't even know how it happened. So what is this saying? Is like, it's effortless. It's truly effortless. You just have to show up, do your rose quarters, do your assignments, listen, and then it transpires. It just comes through.
I think phase 1 protocols, because of everything that you prepare, it's so easy to follow. So it's like I do it, I think one time, and then I repeat it one more time. So now I kind of remember the way, like it just, there's no effort.
Wow. That feels so good the way you're saying it. I can feel it. I can feel the ripple in my being of joy when you're talking about it.
So having done it 2 times in the past few months, then Pintipa, you must have favorite affirmations or organs, or like, because it feels to me like, as you're speaking, that the breath conversation is also for me at the moment, because it's like, I feel like there's another layer. So you can do this more than once, and each time, each 28-day, it allows you to see more, become more aware, and access more, I don't know, peace within. So is there anything that the second time round or something, yeah, that stood out?
Well, I think for both time, I'm drawn to the voice, where you I don't know what that one is called, but because I feel like my voice has been suppressed intentionally or unintentionally, but that's something I've been working on. And so having a protocol that addressed that, I think it helped, because then even now, like I pay more attention to what I express and what I project, and there's less fear.
And is there more, some other emotion? Like, have you uncovered an emotion or a series of emotions that are benevolent, that you're relieved at finding uncovered once the fear is released?
It's like the not the trying to, but like finally I can say the becoming true to myself, speaking my truth, being able to express who I am, what I enjoy. So it's subtle, but it's like the content and the peace that I feel from after the protocol.
Yeah. I can imagine Sandra's in the background doing some deep listening.
Yes, actually, I could feel how the noise and the unresolved emotions were interrupting that sense of peace. And once we clear that, then we can have more space for the purity and the innocence and the pure emotions, and live from another place. When we say we live in another reality, it's not that we are going to disappear from the physical. It means that we're in the physical, but however, we're not in the madness of the world. We're not in the madness of of others, where they are run by their distorted emotions. And not only you're not run, you can see clearly, but we also have mastered. They're not trying to fix. They're not trying to save. There's nothing to save, and there's nothing to fix. And this is one of the beautiful things that I really love about Belvaspata, because Belvaspata, the healing modality given by the Seer Amin as well, that means healing of the heart, is here not to fix. It's actually here to reveal the perfection of each being. There's nothing broken. There's nothing needs to be fixed. And you just call in the angelic presence through their sigils, and those sigils have like incredible amount of awareness, particles of awareness. And these particles of awareness is what changes the reality. This is why we can say we're in a different reality. Doesn't mean that I moved out to Mars or Venus or another planet. We're still here, but the reality of others in the vibration where they feel victimized by their own emotions, or it's even further. They don't think it's themselves. They feel powerless from life. They feel they can't do anything. They feel trapped. They feel imprisoned. So that is not a reality, because when we have the awareness, then we know that we are the creators, the primary creators of what we are experiencing. So anytime you don't know, you're not happy with what's going on in your life, well, rewrite the script. It doesn't have to be that way.
Well, that's so true what you said about being more aware, and no more distorted emotion. Yeah, and being in different reality because of being more aware. Like I just don't focus on those other realities. It's more distorted. It's just like it's not my reality. So let me be in peace, and
Yes.
everything's fine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not defined by others' experiences, because you know that you are writing that reality, and is your vibration, how you are vibrating. This is how you can attract. I was in a conference yesterday, and I was explaining where the gap is. The gap between cause and effect is that the more acceptance we have with our current reality, the much more we can magnify and bring on board our heart's desires. And you don't make choices from your left brain. And I totally declare this. I was just flying over the Pacific for over 10 hours, and I really declare, I don't know after how many hours, but I know it was like profound when I said, from now on, I'm just going to live from inspiration and passion. The end. I'm not going to take anything, not even for a split second, that does not inspire me. because this is the greatest service I can render to Mother Earth and to my fellow man and my fellow gods. So this is like really, I took the baton and I'm like, no more interruption. It's inspiration and passion. That's my engine. That's what I can share. And you know, Pintipa, the fact that you are here, that you accepted my invitation to join on the Sacred Messages series, is a palpable beyond testimonial how incredibly exponential the revealing of your beauty and your perfection has been after the protocol. When I told Kathleen that you were joining, she was like mesmerized with joy. Weren't you, Kathleen?
I would love to get to know Pintipa better and more, because we're in the Visionary Spirits group, and I'm intrigued. So, and actually I didn't realize it, but it's being a mother is one of the things that is one of the conversations I would like to have, and it actually ties in with this. So if I might, the things that you were just saying, Sandra, about trying to save is one of the things that I'm trying to release as a mother. And another thing I'm releasing is cultural conditioning, that you should do this and you shouldn't say that, etc. So when those are released, and it happens during this protocol, it's much clearer who you truly are, the freedom, and then the access to inspiration and passion, that isn't in my lineage, well, it's not in my cultural conditioning, So there's quite a lot goes on for the mind to try and comprehend. But it was when you said acceptance and not dwelling in between the breaths, like not getting stuck between the flow of life, breath in and out, breath in and out. But it is as a most beneficial, to me, it's most beneficial to get back to the motherhood. It's most beneficial to my children for me to release any cultural conditioning, so that I am living a demonstration of freedom as such, or a demonstration of true self, rather than what impositions of the past has put on me. So to me, that's the best job of being a mother, is to be your authentic true self. I don't know if you have anything to comment on that, Pintipa.
Yeah, sure. I think as my role here, one thing I think I'm here to do is to make sure that children can be children, right? Being a good mom or parents, let kids be kids. When you mention cultural conditioning, well, not so much for me, but I think working with the protocol, it also helps me to release some control, because I think by being like wanting things to be certain ways, you are not allowing freedom and fluidity. So I think the protocol helps to recognize that and helps release that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it just occurred to me when you were started to speak, Kathleen, about your awareness onto the topic of the desire to save, and you're aware that that is a pattern that is obsolete, that must be released, let go. One one little hint or subtle piece of information that Almin has given us is like, anytime we are attempting to change or fix something, it's us trying to come up with a better plan than the infinite's plan. So that really had shed a lot of light for me to say, what am I doing? Like, really, I have no room in this part. So it really had expedited the process of holding and releasing.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a little bit about allowing others to have the experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I used to do that. I feel like I've had, more trigger before where I would react and, like you said, try to say things. But now I'm just more holding space, whatever happened, I'm here, right? And I have the compassionate understanding that that may be the experience that they have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I would say that that's the part one, and the part two could be that they're allowing you, they're giving you the stage so that you can really experience that compassionate understanding, that you can surrender to the infinite will. What a great gift. Because, if we don't get tested, we don't know if we mastered it. So here comes the testing moment where we have to step up to the plate and to the task at hand.
And, I still look at others still trying to get things to be certain ways, like just it just caused a lot of grief to be opposing life, right? So it's like it's like I'm an observer, and okay, again, that's their experience, not mine. But since I'm not opposing, I don't have like this resistance or like strife or pain in the body. Like, I'm just here to enjoy.
And by bringing these qualities to your environment within and without, you are giving the gift to others and the possibility to others that they may also have what you have by you just holding the space. So it's remarkable to be, and the side effect of dropping opposition to life is regeneration, and the end result is youthening. So the more we oppose and resist life, the much more tension will accumulate in the body, and hence the aging of the body and the pain in the body. These are all signs of resistance, the aging, the decay. This is all signs of opposition. Whatever you receive, you want something else. We never satisfy you, and then we continue to perpetuate the striving, the going after things. And at this point, it's time that we come back to our receptivity. Is like the new way of being is a stillness in action. I mean, said it's not stillness and movement. And so while you're in a stillness, you're also taking action. So you're bringing both poles into the one, but that actually means you have allowed and you have accepted and you're embracing what you have. It is going into the flow, being in the flow, being the flow. Any thoughts, Kathleen?
Yeah.
Or feelings?
I just noticed the first page of the protocol.
Yes.
Where you apply the oil forever new.
Yes.
On the brain stem and on the tailbone.
Yes.
And here you go. Here's the affirmation, because we're learning to bring awareness into every cell and practicing the intention of allowing trillions of your cells, all of your cells, to remember how to regenerate by continually letting go of the frequencies of the last moment. So the affirmation is, so that would be the inner focus. The affirmation is, enjoying new vibrancy, my cells remember how to regenerate as I let go of old stories now outgrown. So in a way, everything we're learning, we're remembering that every moment is new and there's no need to bring the past along. And with all the levels of support that this gives, that it's coming in to your body, to your emotions, to your mental and your spiritual self. So it's really beautiful protocol. Yeah.
And the oils.
On the oil.
They're very nice. And
yes,
you
we
can
love
have the
oil.
protocol without the oils.
Yeah.
What is that one very, very amazing mantra from the Sierra Leone? Everywhere you go, forget what you know. So leave the suitcases at the door. Leave them.
I did years ago, I made up a song, and it was that very thing, place a suitcase, take off your knapsack before you come into this meditation song. It's to actually get it is it's taken me time to get here. But then when it happens, and that's the chuckle that I have inside when I do this affirmation, these the 28 days. It's like, it's that easy, and it's that possible to happen immediately.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
How about Pintipa does it? How about the motherhood, being the mother as well? Like, does it assist in self-care? Does it shine a new light on the heart, the nurturing part of yourself?
Yeah, I'm probably guilty of the neglecting the inner nurture. So it's certainly part of self-care that one can give to themselves. Stimulating the senses. So I definitely recommend. It's a way to take care of yourself, because as a mom, you take care of others, but someone has to take care of you too, and that should be you.
So I'm going to ask, since the topic of motherhood is coming up, I have heard so many different testimonials about how people feel completely altered, their being altering, of course, in the utmost positive way. And I'd like to ask you directly, do you find that you, after doing both protocols, or maybe after phase one or throughout phase one, that your levels of patience as a mother have expanded?
I think my level of understanding So that's how we correlate to patient. But like I said, it's allowing them to have the experience, even if, you know, it's not like all laughter, like tears are a good experience to have too. But holding space for, you know, I'm being here whenever, and no judgment, you know, not for like what they want to express themselves, because that should be allowed. But you know, whatever happened, you know, as long as it's not like imminent dangers, right? Just allowing the kids to be having innocence, you know, that's precious thing. So I would say that I'm able to hold space more, even when I'm faced with, you know, anger or anything else coming at me, right? I have a core that is stronger, and you know, I can't tell if it's from the protocol, but it's like what I've noticed after spending time doing work on myself and doing the protocol.
Okay. Well, thank you. You know, after I ask you the question about patience, I realized patience is really when we are in the world of duality. Why? Because when we don't accept the timing of another, then we need patience. But you explain it very well, because it was not really patience, because you're in the full understanding that events are unfolding exactly as the way they're supposed to, and you don't have to say, well, now it's like this should have happened a year ago or 3 weeks ago. This is patience is related intrinsically, like with time. So when we leave time, when we exit the matrix of time, which is totally everything to do with both protocols, because regeneration is only possible when we're in timelessness. And this is part of the big chunk of the assignment. When we let go of linear time that is perpetuated by the distorted emotions, then we are free from the tyranny of time. So patience is not required. It's not even in your vocabulary. Oh, you're so patient. People tell me a lot, you're so patient. I'm like, it's not really patience. It's like just exactly what I need to be doing, what I have to do. This is like, okay, I'm giving it, I'm giving a piece of white paper and I'm just writing. It might take me whatever. So it's dealing with what is in front of us. So we don't need this patience thing. Patience is when we're in the linearity. So, and I'm glad that we're talking about this, because I never had the opportunity to bring this up, and I've been observing and making my mental notes about mental, like we have minds, but anyway, and I note on what is patience and how people get really they find an identity being patient. So it's a label, it's a personality, and anything that attempts to describe us, we should run for the hills. So that's all I'm saying. What do you think, Kathleen? You've been quiet over there.
I thought that was so brilliant to listen to. And I can feel like if your senses are the new intelligence centers, I can feel a lot more expanded. And yeah, I've been enjoying this conversation. And it's really interesting when three of us get together from different places in the world, from different things that we each did yesterday. And the conversation is about timelessness and how to be in life and how one is being in life. And it's that even though we're listening to each other, it's a comprehension that's beyond the head, you know. And that I like that you're changing on a dime, as I've heard Almeen say, that, you know, you use a word and then you have an insight, and next thing you realize that that word is the word patience is part of separation and duality, and that you're acknowledging that you're in the state of oneness, or that you want that you want to nurture that perspective in yourself. Yeah, Pintipa.
Yeah, it's like it's about being present, right? And I get a glimpse of that timelessness. This is why it's great being around kids, because there are moments where that makes you realize, and being more present also means you don't stay in the past or in the future. You're just here.
Wow. Well, you know, this is the whole premise of reincarnation, is about not being present. Because if we're not fully in this moment, then we're gonna have to come back and repeat until we get the whole gift of the moment.
And this, and not aging and regenerating, it all goes hand in hand to, you know, not be weighed down by the past. Rather to be uplifted and regenerated in each moment. This is becoming the natural state for me.
And it's a choice available to all of us. It doesn't mean that, you know, that we don't experience heaviness, you know, throughout whatever pockets of existence, but it's just having the deliberate awareness and applying it and saying, well, enough of this. Okay, I already had like whatever heaviness. I went down to the very bottom. I know what's there, and I really did a good visit. I'm ready to come out. I'm ready to emerge from this, and it's happening now. And then, you know, you can open the curtain in your living room. You can bring flowers, go to the garden, just interrupt the pattern, break it through, and smell the flowers, pet your cat, your dog. I mean, do something that will connect you back to your true essence. Go and take a shower, put red lipstick, play your favorite music, you know, have a water with squeezing lime. I mean, just enter into the world of the senses, where you don't have to go into the mind and have a whole formula how you're gonna pull yourself out of this heavy moment. It is naturally effortless knowing, okay, what do you like best? Oh, this is the song. I know the song that will pull me out of this if I don't want to do anything else. Just go to my playlist. Oh my God. It's like, where was I? What was I thinking? Wasting myself into something that is full illusion. There's no room for that. Why would I do that? There's so much more to enjoy.
Yeah, I feel like dancing now.
Yeah, me too.
I'll put my playlist of the 12 organs.
Yes.
I actually did that before this. Before this, I was like preparing, and I was like, okay, I'll go to the samples list, because that was immediately on the Almeen's diary, the audios, and I just played through them. It's like,
yes.
it's like a safe place to be. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, I wonder, I feel like asking Pintipa again, is there anything that you'd like to share to any of my friends who are interested in doing this? That's why we started this whole thing.
Exactly. Yeah. This is how we started. You know, Kathleen approached me and she says, well, do do you mind like explaining the protocol? Because I want my friends to, I would like them to sign up. And so we started doing this, and I said, you know what, Kathleen, this is only my perspective. Why don't, and you know, and I'm presenting it. So why don't we invite others and make this a more grandiose experience and expand, and we all learn. So this is how Sacred Messages series was born.
It is. And you used to listen, you heard people talking to you throughout the 28 days, all the participants and their amazing experiences. So you were sure of it, that it was good to share. So have you anything to say, Pintipa, about that? Somebody who might be interested.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's definitely is a protocol to treat yourself. I mean, if not for the spiritual benefit, it's good for the body, right? You work with all these organs, and through the layer, you do it for 12 and then another 12 days. So, you know, just think of this as a gift for yourself, for anyone who hasn't had the experience. Definitely should try the protocol.
Yeah, it's actually, you do get to know your body a bit better, that the different parts of your body when you do the facial work, it's all connected.
Exactly. Yeah, and your body would thank you for it.
Yes, and your children too.
Yeah.
Yes, I can feel that. I can feel the flowering of your heart. I really feel that, a more motherly tenderness that was always there, but because of the other things that needed to be let go, purified, and polished, were not coming through the surface. All these other beautiful gems that are part of who you are, Pintipa.
That's why I want to continue the protocol. You offer the next one.
Yes, yay! Thank you. I think that's the best testimonial that one can hear. You know, people asking, when is phase 3 now? When is it going to be released? So we are working on it, definitely. Hopefully right after the equinox, we'll have a firm date, but it's coming through. And you know, we cannot rush this. It has a life of its own. So I really have learned how to practice this daily. I get opportunities where I have to surrender completely, and we know that there's only the infinite's timing. There is my timing. It doesn't even exist. So what is the point in trying to create dates? Or this is a lot of fun when you surrender to time, when you surrender to life, when you surrender to, doesn't mean that I don't have preferences. Of course I have preferences, but a preference is not quite the same than a want. So living from a preference is a much lighter way of being, and it's a more magical place to be in. Thank you. So you heard it, Kathleen. I think the best thing you can tell your friends is that Pintipa is eagerly waiting for phase 3.
Me too.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
You both are.
Yeah. Yes, so good. So good. Well, thank you, Pintipa, and thank you, Sandra, for this very sincere sharing. And I feel good all over. I'll see you again soon.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.